Well, hey, what's up? Today we are talking about what's inside my 2020 summer travel kit, all in this bag. Let's get into it. Well, hey, what's up? My name is Tony. I'm a filmmaker photographer in the St. Louis area, and we just passed Memorial Day, which kind of kicks off summer and traveling and all the good stuff. Even with the coronavirus stuff happening all over the world, things are starting to level out here, and I was actually even able to go on a trip this past weekend on my motorcycle, which was really cool. I went down to Arkansas, then went into Oklahoma for some training for a trip that I have planned later in the year. So I've got these cool little raccoon eyes and got some nice little eek. I got some nice little suntan, but what I want to do is go through and share with you everything that I've been using in my travel kit. Now, there's basically my everyday kit that I use, the 30-liter Peak Design, like everyday backpack, and that has all sorts of extras in there that I use for filmmaking and for photography, and if I've got the room, I'll just bring that backpack. But on a motorcycle or something small, I don't have room for all of those things. So I have this small little pack right here that basically fits everything that I need for when I'm traveling on my motorcycle, and I figured why not just walk through what I need, what are the essentials for me to get by, to be able to take great photos and make some really good videos, whether it's family stuff or if I just want to capture what I'm doing, or maybe there's a small job that I have for whatever reason I'm traveling, but I want to take my motorcycle. So that's what we're going through today. Let's get started. First thing is the bag. This is the version 1 Peak Design 10-liter sling, and the reason that I use that is because it fits perfectly in my saddlebag on my motorcycle, and it's a really well thought through, organized bag. I've got all sorts of bags. I love bags, and I love innovation when it comes to them, because I hate just like this cavern where you just drop everything in like a regular backpack. That's the reason why I really love Peak Design, is because they've got pouches and slots and organization and all sorts of things. So I'm a really big fan of Peak Design. Another thing, if you're familiar with motorcycles, I love Moscow Moto, which is a brand that makes products for adventure motorcycles, and they're the same way. It's kind of like the Peak Design of motorcycles, where they've got really innovative products, and I like their work. So you're gonna see a lot of that on my motorcycle. So Peak Design, yeah, I've got their straps, I've got their capture, I've got all sorts of their stuff. If you've never heard of Peak Design, make sure to check it out. By the way, I'm gonna have links for everything below in the description, so if you have a question about anything, I'm gonna link it all right in there, and you can check it out there. So we've got the 10-liter Peak Design bag, sling. Okay, so then obviously we've got the camera, which is the EOS R. And in the past, I've always brought like 3 lenses with me. I've brought like a wide zoom, I've brought a telephoto zoom, and then a prime. And that's kind of gotten me by whenever I've went on motorcycle trips with like a crop sensor. That's the 10 to 18 millimeter, then like the 55 to 250. Those are both really small. And then like a 100 millimeter or a 50 millimeter f1.8. or a 35 millimeter f1.4 so that I can get some low light. But I just decided this year I'm not going to do it. I'm only taking the 24 to 105, which is what we're shooting on right now, and then also because of the size, I can take my 70 to 200, and it fits right in this bag, which I love. I love the size of this lens. I love the quality of it. I get prime results with the zoom lens. So other than that, that's the only thing I do, is I just bring my 70 to 200, my 24 to 105, and I can vlog and talk with the 24 to 105 and use the microphone, and we're good to go. So all right, other than that, regarding camera stuff, that's really it. It's just the EOS R, the 24 to 105, and the 70 to 200. That's it. When it comes to the microphone, I'm using just the Rode Video Micro. Nice and simple. It comes with a dead cat, and that's all you need. You don't need to mess with any other kind of microphone. Now, if I really want to get fancy, I do occasionally, and I can slip this in there because it's so small, is the Rode Wireless Go. I sometimes will throw that in there. I actually didn't bring it on this previous trip because I knew I just wouldn't need it. But you've got a wireless lapel. It comes with everything. You don't need any other cables because you can use the one for the Video Micro with this. And so you can bring this if you want to bring just a really small lapel setup, which is really nice. So that's another option that I may do when I go to Colorado, because I may do some interview kind of stuff with the trip that I'm doing. So other than that, when it comes to audio, that's all I'm going to use is my Video Micro and a wireless Go. As far as stabilization goes, in the past I've brought my tripod and with full intentions to use it, and I just never have. So what I'm bringing now, and I use this fairly frequently, is just this little tripod. And this is a ball head off of a Manfrotto travel tripod that I got, and then the base for my Ronin. So I've got a Ronin S, and then I can just use this as a tripod if I want to set it somewhere or set it up top, or if I want to vlog, I've got this nice little handle. And so that's all I'm bringing for stabilization. I also thought about bringing a strap, and I just end up never using it. So I didn't bring a strap either. I do use the clutch, and that's always on my camera, and that gives me just a little bit more stabilization. Once again, that's a Peak Design product. It works with the same setup as their capture, and it works as the same setup as their strap. So everything works together. So I do have the Peak Design clutch that kind of slips right into my hand, and I just kind of use that when I'm traveling. That basically always stays on my camera unless it's on the Ronin. But other than that, that covers stabilization. So we talked through the camera, we talked through audio, we talked through stabilization. The only other thing that I want to talk through that's really in this bag is storage and backup. And you can fit a 13-inch MacBook Pro in this bag, which I've done in the past on motorcycle trips and things like that. I've stuffed a MacBook Pro in here, and then I could just back up right in the field. Well, thanks to 2018, when they released the iPad Pro, you can actually plug a hard drive into this iPad. And so what I have is I've got this, and then I've got my adapter. Let's see if it's still in here. It doesn't look like it is. Oh, here it is. I've got this adapter that plugs into the side of it, and all it is just a USB-C to, it's just a hub to all of these different things. So I can plug a hard drive in here, and I can plug my SD card in here, and in the field, I can back up from my iPad. I just plug the SD card in here, and then I plug in the hard drive here. And on my iPad, I can transfer from the SD card to my hard drive. So that's really convenient, and I've been using that a lot. I actually took that to Africa when I went last summer, and it worked really well. So then I've got my hard drive. I use the LaCie solid state. This is just the 1 terabyte because these things are stinking expensive, but they're super fast, super durable, really good quality, USB-C. So I'm really limiting my cables. So I just throw in a USB-C to USB cable in here, and that's really all I need for backing up my footage then. So I just plug in my SD card right into that hub, and away I go. When it comes to SD cards, the only thing I do is I bring two 256 gig Extreme Pros, and I use all Extreme Pros. I've got probably 15 of these things laying around. But when I go on a trip, what I do is I bring more than enough, and I knew I wasn't going to be filming a ton. And so what I'll do is I will record onto the SD card, and then once I'm done for the day, I'll go back, dump it onto this hard drive. But then when it's all finished transferring to here, I will write on here done, and it'll replace the file name with the DCIM file name with done. So that way I know that that is already backed up. Now, I will not format this card, because I know if I've got two 256, chances are I'm not going to be filling up 512 gigs from my camera on a trip, especially just a weekend trip or something like that. Now, if I'm going to be gone for longer, then I'll bring extra cards. But what that does is it gives me 2 copies. So if this SD card for some reason goes bad, I have a copy of all of the days before that. If for some reason I lose this hard drive, I've got a backup on my SD cards. And so that's what I do, and it works out pretty well. I also bring 2 128 gig micro SD cards, and I use that for other cameras, which we'll talk about in the future. So, but yeah, that's it. I just bring 2 128 gigs, and I'll do the same process. I'll stick that into the the hub, back it up, so then I have all of my footage from whatever my cameras are that use the micro SD cards. I have a copy here and I have a copy here. So then I don't have to worry about it. I've got 2 copies, and I usually don't run out of data that way. All right, what else is in here? I've got batteries. I bring 3 batteries. That's enough with these Canons to get me through the day. And then also I bring a ND filter, which fits on both the 24-105 and the 70-200. See what I'm saying? Like, it's just really simple. I don't need any step-up rings. I don't need multiple ND filters. It's just a really nice setup just to have those 2 lenses. And then I will bring a lens cleaner cloth, because I'm usually in dusty places, whether it's off-road or in the mountains and I'm hiking, all of those kind of things. It's really nice just to have a nice little cloth. And then the only other thing is I've got a set of really cheap, crappy Jaybird X2s. These things are like 10 years old. They'll probably get replaced with AirPods eventually. I just haven't gotten around to do it. So other than that, when it comes to camera stuff, that's it. That is the only thing in this bag. Besides, I will keep in this front pouch. I took it out, but I will keep this. And what this is just an Anchor battery pack. It charges my phone. It also charges these batteries. I've got a USB charger that I can plug 2 of these in. Now the charger is great. It's a cheap one on Amazon. It's a USB charger for these batteries, so I don't have to bring the big brick that comes with it. I just bring this little charger, and that charges my battery straight from this battery pack. So if I'm camping, I don't need to worry about recharging my camera batteries. I just use this USB one and I'm good to go. The only other thing that I'll bring with me, depending on what I'm doing, one is a GoPro, and I can talk through my GoPro settings sometime if you'd be interested in that, and I can mount this to my helmet, I can mount this to motorcycle, I can mount it all over the place. I've got a couple different mounts and mounting systems. So if you would be interested in hearing about this GoPro setup, I can make a video on that, but that's all I'm gonna say is I hate GoPros. They're just a necessary evil, because you can just get footage on GoPros that you just cannot get when you're riding a motorcycle with the EOS R, unless you're riding with someone else. So yeah, and this has a 128 gig card in it, and then I've got my additional one here. So that's 256. Chances are I'm not gonna really fill that up depending on what I'm doing. So yeah. All right, the only thing that doesn't fit in this bag is the Mavic Air 2, which I just recently got. And I probably won't take this whole bag in the future, but this trip I knew was kind of a priority because I just got it. I wanted to experiment a little bit more. Once again, I've got a 128 gig micro SD card, and so it all works. It all works together with this hub. I just use this same adapter, and I can plug it right in here, back it up, and then I've got an extra micro SD card. So everything is double backed up. Don't have to worry about that. And I can back it all up. Life is good. So that's got the 3 batteries, it's got the charger, it's got the remote control, it's all in here. So other than that, I've got a few random cables, but for the most part, that is my travel kit. If there's anything that you've got questions about, or something that maybe I could ditch that you've got a way that might be a little bit better streamlined, I'd love to hear it in the comment section below. Or if you're curious about any of this gear, send me a comment, find me on Instagram, and you can ask me specifically questions about it. Talk to a lot of people, but that's kind of my system. That lets me get very creative. I don't feel limited, and I can back up in the field. There's so many good things about this setup right now, and I'm really happy with my setup. Alright guys, if this video is something that you enjoyed, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. We are in the midst of doing some cinematic B-roll video tutorials, and I'll get back to those shortly. It's just I had to get through the holiday, and then I went on this motorcycle trip, and so we'll get back to it soon. So we're going to be talking about stabilization and how to get really smooth footage when you're talking about cinematic B-roll, because that looks very cinematic. So, other than that, why don't I show you a little clip of some of the footage that I got on this past trip. I also use this guy right here, the good old iPhone. I've got the 11 Pro. And honestly, I find myself using this for a lot of photos and a lot of video because it's so good and it's in my hand. It's readily available. And so don't ever feel like, you know, you want to miss the opportunity just because you don't have your camera in your hand. Use your iPhone. It takes really good photos and you can edit them. Some of the software makes the small sensor really look good. So other than that, guys, I hope you have a good week, and I will see you in the next video. We're probably going to get back to those cinematic B-roll videos. All right, guys. See you soon.
Let me feel your love again, 'cause I've been running round in circles screaming out your name. Take me to a different place, just the two of us, and we can stay up all night, kissing under streetlights, doing what we want to, doing what we need to do, staying up all night, everything is alright. Oh, I wanna be with you, oh, I wanna be with you. Let me be that someone who can hold your hand. I don't even know if you can understand how you make me feel. I got you in my head. Oh, I wanna be with you, oh, I wanna be with you. Let me be that someone who can hold your hand. I don't even know if you can understand how you make me feel. I got you in my head. Oh, I wanna be with you, oh, I wanna be with you, be with you. All that time away from you, I didn't think I'd make it without you by my side. Let me feel your love again, just the two of us, and we could stay up all night, kissing under streetlights, doing what we want to, doing what we need to do, staying up all night, everything is alright.